Welcome back, everyone. I am your host, Chase Chewning, and this is your weekly source for inspiring content from people who are putting a purpose to their passion and truly living a life ever forward. This is Ever Forward Radio. Hey, surprise everybody, we are diving in with a bonus episode this week. I wanted to leave you with a little something while I am traveling. While you're listening to this, I am en route to the Arnold 2018 in Columbus, Ohio, taking EF Radio and the Ever Forward mantra on the road. March is going to be a busy month for us, so we're diving in with some fitness expo, meeting with all of you, hopefully. If you're going to be in the convention, please stop by, say hi. I'm not going to be in any particular booth, well, except maybe harassing all my friends over at PE Science or Alpha. But if you are going to be at the Arnold, please keep an eye out for me. I'll be looking out for you. Just look for a guy walking around by himself holding a camera probably in front of his face. I'll be filming this for the YouTube channel, filming some vlog action to get March kicked off right. So I'm not doing a solo episode. I'm not doing a new interview. I wanted to do a bonus, a revisit of this week last year on the podcast. This week in February 2017, I shared some airspace with Mr. Shawn Stevenson. For those of you who do not know Shawn, he is the host, the founder, the man, the myth, the legend behind the mic over on the Model Health Show, one of my all-time favorite podcasts. If you're new to podcasts, if you're new to this whole health and wellness fitness thing, or just want to keep educating yourself episode after episode, week after week, please stop listening to me. Go listen to Shawn. Go check out the Model Health Show. He's got, I think, a few hundred episodes now. He's been doing this for years of just some incredible self-discovery, N=1, clinical trial studies. Just he interviews the best of the best of the best in the game, and he also has an incredible mind of his own and is so intelligent in this whole fitness thing. And this episode is also really timely in the sense that this time last year, when he was in town, actually about January of 2017, my wife and I went and had the privilege of being a part of his live event here in Washington, D.C. I had the opportunity to ask him a question, and I was in a big transitional period of my life about, do I stay with my job? Do I stay with this safe, secure thing? I'm interested in podcasting. I'm interested in spreading my wings and doing all these different solo ventures, entrepreneurial type ventures. And I asked a really specific question you'll hear me talk about here in this episode. And Shawn just gave me some incredible advice. I think him and I just really clicked, really resonated. I had the privilege of talking with him after the show, getting my book signed, his book all about sleep health, Sleep Smarter, which I also highly recommend. I'll link that down in the show notes below. If you're looking for just the best ways to improve your health, get into a bedtime ritual, this book helped me so much. So it's really timely because here it is a year later. I'm doing Ever Forward Radio, Ever Forward Coach. I'm doing all these solo projects, and his words of wisdom really helped me gain traction. They really helped me get clear on what I wanted to do and shed a lot of the bullshit that I was afraid of, that I was afraid of leaving, that I was afraid of just letting go of some of the safety nets. And I haven't looked back since. So Shawn, thank you so much. And it's timely in the sense that I'll be meeting back up with Shawn in a couple weeks. Ever Forward Radio was invited out to the Fitness Business Summit in San Diego, California. We'll be down there in mid-March. It's March 16th through the 18th. We're going to be part of the media team covering the event. So actually, I will be re-interviewing Shawn as well as some of the other incredible speakers there in that event. People just like Amanda Bucci, Shawn Stevenson, Drew Manning, Michael Hearn, just these incredible entrepreneurs, these fitness business professionals who we could certainly learn a lot from. I know I have and definitely will, being there in the event myself. But just because this is a rebroadcast, it doesn't mean we can't give some love to our sponsors. Actually, we have to. They help keep this podcast up and running. They help keep this Ever Forward Radio thing alive. So today's episode is sponsored by Health IQ. Now, Health IQ is a company I've been working for a little while now, and they are so unique and so, I think, invaluable when you really think about it. This day and age, as an audience member of Ever Forward Radio, you value commitment. You value taking care of yourself. You are trying to make yourself a better human being, a better person, a better brother, sister, spouse, all of the above. And that includes eating right, being active, just doing these things to keep you performing at the optimum level. Now, that equates to dollars in your life insurance plan. Now, whether or not you have life insurance or maybe want to have yours reevaluated, all of these things you're doing to improve your health, your nutrition, your fitness, your lifestyle, they make you a lower statistic. And that equates to savings that you should be putting in your pocket. So we encourage you to head over to healthiq.com/EFR. That's Echo Foxtrot Romeo for Everford Radio. And take this really short Health IQ quiz. It's a short series of questions, basically just asking you some things about your life, your knowledge base around nutrition and activity, and just really cool things to get you thinking about what you're doing, what you're eating. And these will give you your Health IQ number. It's a scale of about 0 to 100. I'm currently sitting at about a 194, doing pretty well, I think. So how healthy is a health coach? Well, according to Health IQ, I'm at least a 194. So what they will do is they are a health insurance agency that will give you the best rate possible based upon if you have a gym membership. Do you wear a Fitbit? Do you have a certain BMI? What's your metabolic panel? All these things that you're doing to help improve your life, improve your health, that will equal savings. And if you already have life insurance, they will review your policy for you to make sure you're getting the best bang for your buck with your current policy or find you one even better. Okay, so again, head over to healthiq.com/EFR. Take this short Health IQ quiz and see where you stack up. See how much your hard work is actually worth. All this information will, of course, be linked down in the show notes below. All right, without further ado, let's go ahead and dive into this episode, this rebroadcast bonus episode with Shawn Stevenson. Again, looking forward to meeting you all out there at the Arnold, at the Fitness Business Summit. Thank you guys so much for being a part of this family. We love you. We appreciate you. Now here's Shawn.
We're going to come on this side of the room, and if you'll share your name and question too.
My name is Chewning. I live here in D.C. First of all, I just want to say thank you to Jade and Shawn for being continuous wealth of knowledge. As someone in the health and wellness industry, I love seeing the new episode pop up on my podcast feed. So shout out to Model Health Show.
Thank you.
Mine isn't really a question about health, but a little bit more kind of the entrepreneurial side.
Awesome,
of history.
perfect.
So, like yourself, I'm a health coach. I'm a trainer. Every day I work with people one-on-one, but I feel kind of like that itch, that pull, that drive to branch off into a lot of different side projects, working with other individuals in like a different population, even into ventures such as podcasts and different platforms to help learn and continuously apply what I've learned to others. And so I would love to get your kind of background on what it was, if there was a particular moment, and how you kind of transitioned out of that brick and mortar coaching mentality and into really putting a purpose to your passion.
Perfect. Thank you. That's a great question. Jade, I know you got some things to add to this as well with your beautiful self. All right. So when I began in this field, which was now 15 years ago, I didn't know that it would come to this. I didn't know this was a thing. Podcast wasn't a thing, right? So I began with these grandiose ideas like, you know what, I'm going to open a gym someday. I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. But fate had other plans for me. And it's really about, number one, paying attention to what your heart is saying. That's most important. And when I would tell my mom, I'm sorry. My mommy and my mom, when I tell my wife that, yeah, she is all of that. You take care of me. I love you so much. But when I tell my wife about like opening a gym, she'd be like, yeah, okay, whatever, But then she's done that for a lot of things that I've come up with over the years. But so he's playing like me too. So when I started off in this field, I did what I knew how to do. Is the kind of low-hanging fruit for me. And this was a big part of my transformation was working out and training. And I'm coming from this so-called incurable disease, this spinal degeneration. And so having this recovery and this amazing recovery, I felt so good. And exercise was a part of that. First of all, I was so liberated because I could exercise. And I just absolutely loved it. And I wanted to share that with people. So, and I was very, very passionate. Obviously, if I'm coming from like, I'm told that this is incurable, to not having the issue anymore, it's very powerful when I talk to people about movement, about nutrition, because I saw it work for myself. And I saw it work in the lives of, I work with thousands of people now in a one-on-one context in my clinic, all right, or in the gym. And so that was my passion. And it was through training, because I didn't really know much about nutrition still. I was figuring it out. And so eventually, and I shifted my course of study in school to studying more biology. And I had one class with my girl, it was marketing. We were just talking about this actually at lunch. So just to give you a snapshot of where I was at mentally then. So this was like 2005. Maybe it's 2004 actually. Neither here nor there. Here's what happened. We had a marketing class together, all right? We had to do a presentation on a product. And so I chose naked juice, all right? All right? So when I said naked juice earlier, people were like, was you naked juicing? What is naked juice, you know? Because it's so it's crummy, right? But I thought it was like the bomb because I was getting in a little bit of vegetables because I wasn't really vibing with vegetables yet, but it was super sweet. Like my taste buds were telling me, right? And there's like, I don't know, 44 grams of sugar or something absurd in there. And it's pasteurized, homogenized. It's literally destroying upwards of 80% of the minerals and trace minerals in the food, in this drink. But anyway, so we did this little marketing project and we stood in front of the class. We made posters or something. I don't know, maybe she can remember it a little bit better. And she's like, I'm not getting on the show. I'm going to keep trying. But it's because I was so invested in this idea that this thing was gonna work, okay? And so that's where my consciousness was. So as my awareness grew about nutrition, here's the key, number one, and everybody in here is already doing this, which is so powerful. You know, we have so many health coaches, healthcare practitioners, nurses, physicians, chiropractors, acupuncturists who listen to the show. And the key is learning from the best. Learn from the best. And so that's what I started to do. Like I was fortunate enough to ask the right question, you know. So when I wanted to learn about heart disease, I asked who is the best person in the world in this field? And I just started to read their stuff, read their books, listen to their presentations. And I became very well versed in how the whole system worked. And 9 times out of 10, it's like, why doesn't anybody know this? All right? So that shifted my focus to nutrition because obviously, you know, there's a lot of trainers. There's a lot of trainers that are incredible at what they do, absolutely brilliant. And I felt that my gift was more so in nutrition. And so I shifted over and really focused on, I opened up my clinic. I took a big risk to open up a clinic and it became a very thriving practice. And I was able to assist people, you know, with cancers and diabetes and heart disease and weird stuff like Rocky Mountain fever, Lyme's disease, all these different things, and seeing these amazing turnarounds. And usually, and how I really became just deeply involved in that, is that I would oftentimes get the people that were told, there's nothing you can do about this. All right, you have stage 3 cancer, you have stage 4 cancer, there's nothing you can do, right? So I would get these people, and to help to nurse them back to a state of wellness was very powerful and profound. So what changed for me, just to kind of get to the heart of this, was I realized, because it was like 1 week, and I had maybe 8 people come in with type 2 diabetes. And I had to do the same presentation 8 times, all right? Because I'd take it through and I'd show them how the pancreas works and the beta cells, and it can produce glucagon as well, and how you get into this kind of carbohydrate spillover, blah, blah, blah. And they'd be lit up, like they would actually understand how they have the disease now and how to reverse engineer it. But I was like, damn, I gotta keep telling people this same thing over and over and over again. Maybe I should record it. Say hello to the Model Health Show, right? So that was really the catalyst for it. And, you know, many years ago, and there's some people who listen to the show now, and shout out to you, that were listening to me on a previous show many years ago, that wasn't mine. It was for this entity, which I'm still really good friends with them, but it wasn't mine. It wasn't my brand. I wasn't being fully 120 myself like I get to be with you guys. and also just being able to have the structure and also to have Jade, that counterbalance to help to facilitate things and to produce things at a high level for everybody. Did I cheer a clap for Jade? Is that what that was? And so here's the key, and this is what I want to get to for you, man, is when I started the show, I was still running my practice. And I had to get to a place of extreme honesty with myself. What do I want to do most? Because here's the takeaway. You can do anything, but you can't do everything. And I had to decide, all right? You can do anything, but you can't do everything. And I had to ask, am I in love with the cocoa? That's not what I said. That's a joke. I said, am I in love with running this practice? And the answer was no. I loved it, but I was no longer in love with it. All right? But I was in love with this show. I was in love with influencing influencers. I was in love with writing. So I focused all my time on that, and I took the leap to close my practice, which was hard, for about a week. Then it's like, man, I should have did this a long time ago, because it freed me up to give my gift. That's really the thing. I had to listen to my heart and be honest about it, what I really was here to do. And that's what I encourage you to do, my man. It's just, you get to choose. You can do anything, but you can't do everything. And that does not mean it's going to be easy. It's going to be a smooth ride, because there are many ups and downs through this process. More ups for sure, because I'm walking my path. But that's really what it boils down to. It's just listening to your heart and doing the thing that would most move you forward in your career path. Do that now. Stop wasting time. Just start doing it right now. Jade?
So I'm glad you brought up what the love is. And so I'll bring a couple references into the conversation. One, listen. If your heart's been telling you that, don't ignore it anymore. There's a reason why you're being pulled toward that. And there's someone on the other end waiting to receive it. And if you have more to give, then go ahead and give it. The other thing is a book that Shawn had brought to my attention, which has really transformed things, and that's called Essentialism. Essentialism by Greg McKeown. And he says where these three things align is where you'll find where your passion, where you're also skilled, which you have both, and where your greatest contribution is to the world. Where those things meet is where you'll see the magic happen. Right. Now, for me as a producer and with Shawn, there's a magic formula in radio. They say the magic formula is frequency and consistency. This, for us, was one of the most consistent things that we had ever done. And we had to eventually decide that there won't be anything else that comes into that space when we're doing the Model Health Show. Now, sacrifice, and Shawn has talked about this in other shows, means to keep sacred, not necessarily to give up and lose everything, but you really gain by keeping it sacred. So that formula of consistency and frequency will carry you through those times when you fall a little out of love or it gets tough on the thing that you decided to go ahead and do. So bring your passion and your skill together where you know you have a great contribution to the rest of the world. Believe in it and know that you can do it. But for everybody else, everybody in here, you have a range of influence. It could be 5 people. It could be her whole family's here. Whatever you have that you have a mouthpiece, an opportunity to share is your platform. And that becomes a great opportunity to transform someone's life. You may pass on something you hear for the Model Health Show. You might pass on the Model Health Show, and it changes someone's life. So there is a great gift and offering in that sharing, but most certainly if there's something pulling at your heart to do more, go ahead and move forward in it. Go ahead and give it a try. Now, Shawn also said that he shifted. Maybe you don't come out with the full practice or the full model or design. Don't go buy a building off top. Anymore, we want to be more nimble. Because as you evolve, what you'll be able to do will evolve. I just knew I'd have 3 blocks of Hollywood studio of my own. Technology changed all that. Who needs that, right? But be able to shift. They call it in the entrepreneurial ecosystem being able to pivot. And you want that. so that you're not so locked into one thing that you can't even give up the opportunity cost or the sunk cost bias because I've already done it so long, I've already done so much. And if you're that person who you've come way out here on the plank, well, I've already gone all the way out here, it's okay. At any given moment, wherever you are in your life, you can pivot and shift and change your trajectory. If I said something 5 minutes ago, whether or not everybody gets it, if I need to change for me, change for me, change for you. And you'll be a better offering to everybody else you influence and that is in your life anyway. So those would be my recommendations for you, and I can't wait to see you go forward.
Perfect.
Be nimble. Know that you can do anything, but you cannot do everything. Those were probably my biggest takeaways from Shawn and Jay's response to what it took and what it takes to have that realization of what you're doing and what you really want to do, and to just kind of tread lightly in that process, to still pursue your passion and perhaps a different purpose and a different method, but to never quite abandon that one strong foot in a sure thing is kind of what I interpreted it as. So, definitely never leave a stone unturned, never pass up an opportunity, but also kind of stay where you know that you can continue to learn until it is time for you to take that leap of faith, to fall out of that nest and really flap your wings for the first time. So I hope that you all learned as much from those two as I did. They are a continuous wealth of knowledge. So if you have not subscribed to the Model Health Show, I highly encourage you to go check them out. They're on iTunes. I believe they're also on Google. You can also check them out online. Shawn puts out a lot of great content. He has also written a phenomenal book on sleep health. He is probably one of the most referred sources that I give to my clients, my patients, for people dealing with sleep issues. So you can go to the ShawnStevensonModel.com. All of his material and resources are there. And I personally just want to say thanks again to Shawn, Jade, his family, his wife, his whole team, who put on an incredible live event for us here in DC. It definitely is something that I still look back fondly on. I also want to say thank you to Shawn for allowing me to use this material. I reached out to him via Instagram and kind of just explained my podcast venture, what I'm doing, and how I thought that this audio clip would be a great combination to a topic that I wanted to do. And he said, absolutely, man, take it, run with it, happy to help. So I just thoroughly enjoy being around people that are just constantly giving and have that servant's heart. So again, Shawn, thank you so much. Thank you all so much for joining me again this week. I truly hope that you have enjoyed this episode and its message. If you have found value in Everforward Radio, I would greatly appreciate you subscribing to the podcast, as well as taking just a few seconds and leaving it a 5-star rating and review on iTunes. This is the best way to make sure our message continues to reach others. Thanks again, and I hope that this content helps you live a life ever forward.